You're allowed to dialogue with your mind. You already talk crap to it, so you might as well have like a conversation, to like pull yourself out.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next module on mindset. Today, we're going to be talking about something very special, subconscious rewiring. Today's friend, because I'm actually bringing a guest on today, today's friend brings a rare blend of discipline, depth, and transformational power. She is a certified clinical hypnotherapist who specializes in subconscious rewiring and inner child healing. Her work helps high-functioning creatives break their self-sabotaging patterns and rebuild identity from the ground up. Before stepping into the world of trauma-informed healing, she served in the U.S. Army, where she learned leadership, resilience, and an unshakable commitment to helping people rise. She's also a former model and actress who now uses her understanding of identity, psychology, and human behavior to help clients access real, lasting change. She is a multifaceted entrepreneur and the founder of Born for This Hypnosis, a company dedicated to rapid nervous system transformation. But, my friends, the most interesting thing about her is that she makes the best coffee. Apparently. I've never tried it. I don't know yet. But everybody give a little round of applause, even though you're listening to this and it's pre-recorded, for my friend Rachel Veronica. Hi, Rachel.
Hey, how's it going?
Super duper. I'm excited to dive into this with you. If you want to take a couple minutes, by the way, just to start this off, if there's anything else you want to share about your background that I didn't, feel free to share it. And then after that, would love to just dive in here. We got some cool stuff to talk about. This is going to be within my mindset lessons, and I want to mostly shut up and let you talk and pull some awesome information from you. So, like I said, if you want to share any more about your background, and then diving right into it, what is your definition of subconscious rewiring?
So just a little bit back, we'll backtrack a little bit. I am a recovered addict. So this is near and dear to my heart to help people overcome these struggles that we put ourselves in. So subconscious rewiring for me and for my clients is really going into your mind, into your memories, diving into the ones that are causing you all of your problems that you're having today. I've had clients go back to things that they said they didn't even remember happening. And then they go and ask their mom, and like these things have actually happened to them. So they've been carrying stuff since they were like, let's say 5 years old. And now they're 30, 40 years old. So it's like, how do we let these things go? We have to go into the subconscious. We have to rewire our beliefs that we attach to these things that happen to us. So that's what I do. That's what I specialize in. I go in like a surgeon and cut through your memories, get to the one that is the root cause of why you're sabotaging, why you're in survival mode, why you don't feel like you're good enough. We'll figure it out within 1 to 3 sessions is my goal.
Amazing. If you want to find Rachel, you can go to Kamartage. That's a Doctor Strange reference, if anybody knows Marvel. Because, some of this stuff to a lot of people might sound, if you don't know who Doctor Strange is, he's like sorcerer supreme, he's all into magic, and he's got the Infinity Stone and whatever. Anyways, that's beside the point. My point is, a lot of people might hear what you're saying and be like, that sounds like magic. That doesn't make any sense. So let's dive into this. I'm excited to break it down more. You do some really cool work. So first things first, because I want to touch on points that I think are very relevant to people early in their journey and also throughout. But I think most people listening to this are probably a little bit earlier in that entrepreneurial kind of journey. So I think of myself like 10 years ago at this point. So sabotaging ourselves. We are often our own worst enemies. And I know you have some interesting thoughts on how to make yourself your own best friend, pretty much, right? Being your own best supporter. So yeah, what are some ways that you see people often getting in their own way, and how do you help people rewire that, stop sabotaging themselves, start to become your best supporter, not your worst enemy?
Well, a lot of the problem is people talk a lot of crap to themselves. So if you're telling yourself every single day, I suck, I don't matter, I'm not enough, if you're looping in these kind of negative thoughts, your life is going to look exactly like what you're saying. So becoming your biggest cheerleader, becoming your best friend is really saying, you know what, I am good enough. I am human. I'm allowed to make mistakes. And maybe I didn't grow up in safety, and I don't know what that feels like. So, how do I get to a point in my life where I'm creating all this chaos? How do I make it peace? When all you've known is chaos your whole life, how do you feel good about anything? You don't know how to. You have to really wire that into your system and figure out how you can feel safe in an environment that used to feel chaotic. And it's not easy, you know. This is really deep conscious work. You have to really be ready for it. A lot of people aren't ready for this kind of work because it's a lot of accountability that you have to take for your life. When I took 100% accountability and said, everything is my fault, that's when everything changed because now I look at the truth of my chaos. So if you're able to, I don't know, I like to zoom out. I zoom out of outside of myself and I like to look at the bigger picture of really what's going on. Am I safe? Is this an environment that I need to be in? Are these people that I'm surrounding myself with healthy for me? So I had to get rid of a lot of people in my life to move forward to be where I'm at today because I couldn't be an addict to be a clinical hypnotherapist. It wouldn't have worked. I had this identity of an addict that could not come over with me to be who I am today.
Hmm. Wow. Yeah, that's so good. And, it reminds me too of this book. I don't know if you ever read this. It's called Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. And it's about that concept that you said about, everything's my fault, take responsibility. And, you know, I think there's maybe a limit to these things sometimes when it comes to, everything being your fault. But taking responsibility and really owning your your life, I think is so important. And that I think goes into also being disciplined and following through on your word and all that kind of stuff, right? Being an accountable person. And, one of the things I know we both agree on is that being a person of your word is probably one of the most important things you can do to start building confidence. So talk to me more about this, about, you know, yeah, following through on what you say you're going to do, and then the snowball, what that leads to, whether it's confidence, the right relationships, etc.
Yeah, so keeping your word is just everything. I have clients that say they want all of this change, but their words are not matching their actions. So when we can get your words to start matching your actions and you're not just spewing out a bunch of word vomit, like I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that, and then the day comes and you just don't do any of it, you've already lied to yourself. You already have self-betrayal. You already don't trust yourself to do these things. So if you make a whole list of stuff for you to do and then you fail to do all of them, how are you going to feel? You're not going to feel good. So how do you get yourself to say, all right, I said I'm going to go to the gym, so I'm going to the gym today. It is really a choice. Life comes down to just making a choice. You get to make choices every single day. I was choosing to feel misery in my life and sit on my couch and not do anything all day. And then I decided, you know what? I'm going to go to the gym. And then when I started going to the gym every day, I lost 30 pounds in a year. I was feeling good. My mind fog is gone. Everything just snowballed into just having a better life and outlook for myself personally, because this has happened to me. You know, my clients are going through the same thing right now, where I give everybody a personalized recording at the end of each session. Nobody has the same recording. It is personalized specifically to my clients. And getting somebody to listen to something for 21 days, if you can't do that for 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes out of your day, you can't do that just for yourself to reinstall, reinforce, recode your brain. You know, it's just these simple little things that add up over a longer period of time. So it's like make your choice, take the action. Don't just say words and not follow through.
I love that so much. I always talk about, be 1% better every day. And it's exactly what you were just saying, right? It's like, don't overwhelm yourself with this massive list of things you have to do in one day, but rather slow steps in the right direction towards your goal. And I think it's really good too to have an accountability partner, right? Whether you literally work with a professional like yourself, or at the very least, just to get started, if you have a friend where you can just bounce things off, like, hey man, did you Did you follow through today? Did you work out? Right, something small like that. I think that's so important. And in all this, you're talking about really kind of becoming a new person, right? Changing your identity, becoming that person that you want to be. Yeah, just talk to me about the importance of, I guess, rewiring your identity, which we'll get to in a few minutes. There might be a book here with that same title. But
Yes.
talk to me about that. Why is it important? Why is it important to rewire yourself and have a new identity?
Well, like I said earlier, with me being the addict, like I couldn't be an addict and still be a therapist. And when I got
Right.
out of the military, I was this military rah rah rah. I came into the civilian management world and sergeant handing people. It just didn't work. My identity in the military, I had to let that go to be in management in the civilian world. And then it just kind of snowballed into where I am today. I've had multiple identities. People say they have multiple personalities. Well, you can create multiple identities. And what I do with my clients is I tell them, I want you to create a superhero version of yourself. We're creating the superhero you today. Everything you want your life to look like. What does your life look like without the problem that you have right now? How do you
Mm.
wake up? How do you dress? How do you speak? What kind of car do you drive? Where do you live? Create everything that you want for yourself, not the things that you don't want. So many people are like, oh, I don't want this. I don't want that. And then, well, it's like, what do you really want? You have to be super, super specific with the universe because that's what we need. We need specificity. You need to be super specific in how you want your identity to be, and we can create that. And it's pretty amazing what happens when you just start listening to these words that you told me that you wanted. And then your life starts embodying that, and you start becoming this new version of yourself. It just gives a lot of people hope, like you can get out of this darkness that you're in, and I can help pull you out of it. But it is a lot of work. You have to just, it's a daily practice. If you gave the game, let's say 30 years of talking crap to yourself, you might need to give yourself another 30 to rewire that. It's not just going to happen overnight.
Yeah, 100%. And you mentioned earlier, and I'd love your thoughts more on this. Affirmations, mantras. You give people a personal recording that they can listen to. So, I think a lot of people might, especially guys. I know because I was this way. You think affirmations are, I'm just going to say it, are gay or whatever, right? Whatever guys say or think. And listen, it can definitely be a little bit woo woo sometimes, but realize too, when people say you need a mantra or you need to repeat things, nobody's telling you have to say, I am brave, I am beautiful, I am like, you don't have to say things you don't agree with or you think are weird, or like a mantra could be a Bible verse. It could be a David Goggins video. It could be a whatever, something you repeat. And affirmations can be, I mean, you can work them into your prayers. You can work them into your meditation time, whatever. But it has to be relevant for you and the identity you want to shift into and create. And so, yeah, I'd love to know, Rachel, your thoughts on maybe how to you know, not demystify. What's the word I'm looking for? Just make these practices like something you actually really add into your daily routine, and and how you've helped clients get into that affirmations, mantras, and why those are so important.
Yeah, it's not so much affirmations and mantras because, I mean, you can say a bunch of words and not believe it and your life doesn't change. But if you're
True.
telling me this is how you want your life to be, and I create this beautiful script and transformation, and you listen to it every single day, this is exactly what you want, right? This isn't the things that you don't want. It's not, I'm going to be happy. I don't want to be sad. It's more of, I want to wake up pain free. I want my body to trust me. I want to go into my job every day and love the people that I'm around, embody whatever kind of feelings that you want to feel. We create this. It may seem woo woo. It kind of does when you just talk about it like this, but words are powerful. What you speak in your mind is powerful. So if you're repeating a bunch of negative things all the time and you're wondering why your life sucks, well, it's because you need to change the channel in your mind. So being able to listen to something that is just personalized to yourself and you hear I say people's names over and over in the recording, so hearing your name in it too, like, that just does something for my clients. I had one of my clients was, like, kicking and screaming and did not want to listen to this recording for, like, the first 2 weeks, and then he finally gave in and started listening to it every day, and my god, his life has changed so much from just listening to the recording and doing the work and just stopping the negative self-talk, because that's really what it's about. You have to stop talking crap to yourself.
Yes, agreed. And it's funny, right? Because you almost need, like, you kind of need to brainwash yourself, but it's at the end of the day, you're kind of brainwashing yourself out of the brainwashing. So ultimately, you're going to be brainwashed in some way, probably.
Yeah.
So might as well do it in a way that, you know, gives you more confidence, makes you move forward. And then ultimately, when you believe something, you're going to act on it, right? Well, hopefully, if you have enough motivation behind it, you can act on your beliefs. But if you don't believe something, it's very hard to take action, especially when you feel like, oh, what's the point? So, and I even recommend to everybody, there's a book called Hung by the Tongue, definitely on the more spiritual side. I think Francis P. Martin, I think, is the author. It talks about the power of the spoken word and even into the spiritual realm, right? Whether you believe in angels and demons and stuff like that. Just the power that our words have, even outside of just the air that we're breathing. And even, excuse me, even if you don't believe that kind of stuff, again, comes down to the psychological as well. What are you allowing yourself to believe? So, all that being said, tell me, Rachel, what do you find is in 2025 nowadays, especially whether it's social media, it's the economy, it's people complaining about the way the government is run, or whatever. How do you, kind of going back to that first topic of self sabotage? What do you find often is getting in people's way, maybe more than other things in this day and age? And what solutions, do you typically see work the best for some of these maybe more relevant things that get in people's way right now?
Yeah, I know a lot of people that just really take in social media and all of the negativity that's going on around the world, and they, like, internalize that, and they can't get out of bed for whatever reason because they feel so horrible about the things that are going on, right? I think there's just so much information out there, and sometimes we don't know what's true and what is not true. And it's kind of like you have to put yourself in a situation where what is in your control? This war going on right now, that is not in your control. What can you do to help out? Maybe there's a donation or volunteering place that you can go to and help out in some kind of way that way, or donate money, or maybe go to the grocery store and buy some old lady's groceries for her. And that might make you feel a little better. But when it comes to like the social media stuff, you can't get consumed into all of it. And I know it's really hard because it's like that's all people have right now is just scrolling, scrolling, doom scrolling. Like, you know, delete it off your phone. If you don't need to be on social media, just delete it. Every time you want to go on it, download it back onto your phone. I did this challenge for 30 days, and let me tell you, that humbled me. Having to delete the app, re download it, put your password in every single time, that will humble you and make you not want to even go on it and re download it after you already had to delete it and put it back on your phone. So, those are some of the ways that I try to help my clients to like get yourself out of this thing where this is not your fault. The stuff that's
Mm.
going on social media is not your fault. You did not cause this. So like stop internalizing these things that are going on like it's you did this because you didn't. You are in America or wherever you are, you're not in the war zone. You know, you're not in a trench in Ukraine. You're in Las Vegas, Nevada, you know? You're nowhere near that. So it's kind of like how do you take yourself from being like the victim in the scrolling and all of that to disassociate? How do you disassociate yourself from it without thinking? You have to think these thoughts. This is not my fault. This is not my war. This is not this is not my I did not cause these things to happen in the world. I don't need to internalize it. So really having that talk with yourself, like, I don't need to do this today. You're allowed to dialogue with your mind. You already talk crap to it. So you might as well have like a conversation, to like pull yourself out. You're
Sure.
allowed to do that. But some people just don't have that knowledge of, oh, I can do that. Yeah. You do it anyways, you might as well do it for positive reasons.
Yeah. That's a good point. I like that. You made a good point too about creating barriers to entry for certain things with social media, or you could do that for anything. If you want to go get McDonald's because you eat McDonald's every day, then maybe every single time you get McDonald's, you have to donate $50 to charity or something. And so how many times are you willing to keep donating $50? Because how much money do you have in your bank account? So creating barriers to entry for things you don't want to do, and then eliminating barriers for things you do want to do. I know we were talking before the podcast about even these videos. I want to eliminate a barrier of entry for me to, I got to do so much editing, and I have other videos I have to edit for my podcast and for this. So this, I hit record, we're going straight to the end, and I'm clicking stop, and it's getting posted on School just like that. So for anybody listening to this, just a quick, trick and tip is, when you're getting started, especially, or even when you're more advanced in the journey, sometimes you just need to do something, and then you can make it better later on. It's better to do that often, most times, than contemplating and planning for 16 years and never executing at all. The person who executes and is messy is going to get a lot further ahead, a lot faster than you if you never take action. So that being said, Rachel, any final thoughts or words for the person who is starting this journey? They don't know if they want to be an entrepreneur, full blown, go on Shark Tank, and I'm offering 20% of my company for $100,000, or if they just want to have a small business, or if they want to do something online, but they know they want to do something different. They want to break generational curses. They want to break the cycle. They ideally probably want to be wealthy, healthy, wise, help people, and they're just getting started, whether they have a business or not. What's a final tip to end our little session here that you want to give to these people to encourage them and to give them some guidance?
Yeah, so just take some kind of daily action and let it snowball into more daily actions. I tell people, do something different today that you don't normally do. If you keep doing the same thing over and over, you're not getting the results. That's kind of this definition of insanity, right? So do something different today than you normally do, and watch how different the outcome can be. So keep your talk, keep your self talk positive, become your biggest cheerleader, listen to your intuition because it's never wrong. And you will not go wrong if you listen to your intuition. And if you pray to God or whoever your higher power is, and you're talking, you can ask questions too. And I can guarantee you'll get some kind of answer in some energy form or something.
Yeah. Cool. Tell everybody where they can find you. I'll have it linked below. What's the best way to get in touch with you if somebody does want to work with you one-on-one, or follow your content, or even get your new book available now?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, Rachel Veronica, Born for This Hypnosis, TikTok, Born for This Hypnosis. I just dropped an ebook called The Identity Rewire. You can go to theidentityrewire.com. I do have a free 21-day mental rewire challenge. That's through email too. That's on the Identity Rewire. It's at the bottom. You can sign up for that if you want that. Those are that one's free. And rachelveronica.com. And that's all.
Amazing. Rachel, thank you. I appreciate you. And I'm sure we'll have you back to teach some more good nuggets over time. But thank you. Ciao for
Yes,
now.
thank you, Doc.
I'll see you guys in the next module.